How is everyone?
Ah, that's how I feel because I had loads to do. It was like bang, 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 bang. It's been like that for the last 10 days. But now it's like, oh, and calm down. Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm busy, but I'm okay.
Oh yeah, you got time for this then. You're not feeling time pressured.
No, I need to end like a few minutes before.
Yeah. Louise, how are you feeling this
Yeah,
morning?
I'm well, thank you. The only pressure I have is I hope the postman doesn't knock on the door to disturb the recording. I've written a note on the door to say, please do not ring the bell.
Oh, we love it if a postman rings a bell during the session because I like it. I like the idea. Oh, look, it's a reminder. Life's going on out there. All normal things happening, and we can always edit it out if we decide we don't
Ah,
want that noisy.
okay, that's fine.
So one of us will ask questions and we'll just see what happens. And the
Okay.
format pretty much is whatever you want to talk about, whatever you're comfortable, whatever. And if you do talk about things that you don't want to talk about, and after you think, oh no, I shouldn't have said that story, we can always edit it out. So
Okay.
what I'll do is at the end of the session, maybe if we have 5 minutes, we can do a little somatic meditation
Yeah,
of yours, maybe,
of course.
possibly.
I would never ever say anything that's not appropriate. So I don't have any concerns with what I say, because that's just not how I work. So,
Brilliant, really good. Let's talk about that. Can we start there then? Oh, Louise, thank you ever so much for coming on our podcast. It's lovely to see you here. Dear viewers, we have Louise Reader. She's a lovely lady who's written a book called 10, Ten, and it's a great book and I'd recommend it to anyone. And good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Kay.
Morning.
Morning.
So can we start talking about the importance of speech and speaking and words and that the role that speaking has in your life then, Louise?
oh, crikey. It's been interesting really because that whole the concept of being able to talk and stand up and publicly talk, it's something that I've been working on for quite some time because as a child I've been completely shut down. Not And it's something I've learned to do to adapt to fit into my circumstances because that's what we do, isn't it? We want to be loved, we want to be part of our tribe, our family, etc., etc. And so I've learned to shut down. I've for a very long time I have kept quiet, and so consequently, I've held an awful lot of tension around my mouth, my jaw, my neck, just to keep me in the place that I have felt is the right thing for me to do. And I've never necessarily felt it, although I did end up with lockjaw one time in in a clinic that I really wanted to vocalise, but I didn't so much. So that made it even eating. I couldn't hardly open my mouth. So, but anyway, that's another
Well, but
story.
that is the thing, isn't it? It's all about the pressure and the emotions in the body that aren't processed, often comes out in the body as
Yes,
disease or illness or tension. Go on,
abs,
Sharon.
yeah,
What's it then?
yeah.
Having known Louise like for eons and eons, although we're not that old, obviously,
No.
but you know, yes, I would say I am aware that she has kept quiet, haven't you, Louise? And I was a chatter, but Louise always held back.
Yeah,
She would talk as a one-on-one, but in a crowd, she would always go.
yeah.
"Hmm."
Yeah, and as you can see with how Sharon held her lips, it's pursing your lips to stop the words from coming out. So yeah, so it's only since I've started teaching the meditation, which has been about 18 months, that I've been really playing and exploring with being able to speak my truth and say what it is that I've with my knowledge, because even with my knowledge I've I've kept all that to myself, but now's the time for me to come out. So it is really important for all of us to be seen and to be heard.
Really lovely. So I'm guessing this feels a little bit how does this feel to you, Louise, to be surrounded by people that you don't know, knowing that other people, groups of people are going to be watching? How are you feeling about talking on
Oh, I
YouTube?
love it. I love it. Because now's the time for me to come out. And indeed, that's my aim, is to get out there more, to be more of a public figure, if you like, which is why I wrote my book, partly why I wrote my book. So that, yeah, that's partly for me to not to hide away so much, for me to be and to help other people. That was my intention with the book, was that it wasn't just about me sharing some of my story. It was actually to help people reflect and consider, because really I'm no different from anyone else. You know, I've had stuff happen, we've all had stuff happen, and for some of us it affects some more than others, and there's no judgment on whether it does or whether it doesn't. It's just the way it is. Yeah,
It's really lovely. Your book was such an easy read. I flew through it. I was like, wow, I'm recommending this to everyone now. It's great, really easy read.
yeah.
Loved it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And that was my intention. And as you flick through, there's lots of space in the book, isn't there? And that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about giving people space to be able to talk, to be able to pause and be in their world and their life, and instead of diminishing themselves.
Exactly. How long did it take you to write your book, Louise?
Probably about 6 to 9 months, really. Yeah, yeah.
Did you enjoy it as the process?
I I did I enjoy it? I did. And I actually started writing it very soon after my dad had passed away. So, but the hardest bit was standing up at the launch event in March, because it felt that was me almost like the first time being able to stand up and in my body and present. And there was an awful lot of emotion to do with the disloyalty to my parents. I don't know, excuse me, I just felt vulnerable, actually totally coming out effectively. So that was the hardest bit. The actual writing, I really quite enjoyed. Yeah, I really quite enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed writing it, obviously, but it must have been quite upsetting sometimes, but it's cathartic.
Cathartic.
Is that the word, where you get things out, but also it reminds you of the sadness of those times as well?
Oh, Sharon, you saying that, I can feel sadness in me, but am I sad necessarily in a grippy way to some of the things? Because no, it was my life. And in my journey as being a somatic therapist, etc., etc., it's enabled me to allow the emotion to flow. So we can so easily get caught and entangled with and focus on, oh, it feels sad, or I feel this, or I feel that. But actually, it's human. It's human to allow the emotion to flow. So even though when you mentioned that, there was sadness, I could feel sadness in my body, but there's not a grip in. It's okay for me to experience that sadness.
Yeah. So you experience it and let it go rather than trying to hold it in
Yeah,
anymore. Yeah.
yeah.
I was just gonna say that I've been trying to write a book for years, and I just like put little bits, and it is about my life story, but and I want to make it like of value to other people as well. So I put a kind of a psychological spin on it, if you like.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I haven't really got very far with it. I just write little bits of it here and there, and it's not in any order. And like my idea is to put it in order at some point, but it is very difficult to write about yourself. And especially if you have like emotional or emotive stuff going on. And even when like I speak, and sometimes I share some of my story, I never share it all. And yeah, so even when I do that, I always think, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Afterwards, if I feel comfortable, I might in a one-to-one with a friend or something, just share some of my story, and then I think, oh, I shouldn't have said that. That's really bad. They're gonna hate me now. And it never is true. But yeah, but it just makes you feel very vulnerable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I can imagine, and I'm almost at the end of your book. As I've got busier, I kind of did fly through it, and it was really easy to read, and you get the space and do the somatic exercises. I'm up to I don't know what chapter I do. I think you're getting married. That
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm up to there, and I keep picking it up and putting it down. But it is a lovely book to read actually. And I when I read a life story like that, I always think, oh, I really need to get on with mine. But yeah, I don't know if it'll happen even, but it's on the back burner anyway, mine. Yeah.
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 But I think sometimes we just need that space, don't we? We need that
Yeah.
space to allow that transition from our thoughts and our thinking and our memories to put it onto paper or however you're doing it, that the medium. So we just need that time and just to give ourselves space to put down what it is. And as you say, sometimes there can be a flow of emotion, or sometimes we just get caught in the flow, the emotion, and that can stop us from continuing that. And indeed, probably one of the hardest things was to put the sequence, because at some time, some of the things that were happened to me, it was all at the same time. So it was really interesting trying to tag and put the sequence in and the flow in. And in fact, some things were left out because it just didn't seem to flow as well. So the whole process was just really an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So I would say continue, Kay.
I keep now and then I think I should really go away somewhere lovely and like quiet and just do it, just like spend some time writing it, like a couple of weeks. I know that's not long enough, but I would probably get the format and get a bit further on. But I just need, yeah, like you say, that space and time.
Yeah, but even you saying that, it's almost like if I think I'm gonna, or I want to read a book, and I think I can only read a book if I've got 3 hours to read the book, and that's crazy. Sometimes it's about taking little snippets of time in our day, rather
Yeah.
than it being a whole chunk of something.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how I read a lot of my books. I do a little 5-10 minutes here every day, rather than because if
Yeah,
I have to think, oh, I've got to sit down for 2 hours reading, it's not going to get done. Not
no,
going to get done.
no,
Yeah.
no.
That is kind of what I'm doing at the minute. Something will make me think of something, and then I'll write because I don't want to lose that thought or moment. So I'll put that in a file somewhere.
I
Question.
was going to ask a question about what is somatic therapy.
Oh, and somatic therapy. So I started my career as a um, working with the mind. So I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and a lot of my things were all about working and understanding with. So it's like a top-down therapy. So working with your mind to work your way through your stuff and understand. And there is a benefit of that. But then what I noticed for me personally, that wasn't enough for me to understand. I still had things that I wasn't happy with. And then I came across somatic therapy. So, somatic therapy is just purely, instead of starting with my thinking mind, it's about coming in through the body. So, I work directly with the body rather than directly with the thinking mind. And what I really love about it is it's really sneaky, because you don't necessarily have to talk or share about whatever it is that you're letting go of, because so we hold our stuff in our mind, in our thoughts, in our thinking mind, but we also hold, so it's conscious and unconscious. And in the same token, it's the same in our body. Some of the stuff is conscious and some of it isn't. We're not conscious. So when we hold, how we hold it in our body, we hold it as tension. And not only do we hold it as tension, we can also, there's numbness in our body. So by coming in and starting to feel into our body, we can start to soften and we can start to let go, and with a gentleness, with a tenderness, rather than it being confrontational. I must relax. So I don't really like the word relax, because to me that sounds like an order. So it's like, oh, okay, there's time and space, and we can have patience and tenderness to soften, to like what you said, you directed to Tamas into your shoulders, that maybe not forcing your shoulders down, which is what we can have a tendency to do, but just see if there's an opportunity just to turn your attention slightly inwards, and you can soften, you can release whatever you're holding there.
When I spoke to Louise a while ago, we were going down this path, and it sounds so interesting, so interesting. You carry, as you were saying, so much you don't realize tension in your body, and the aches and pains you have aren't always associated with you getting older. They're associated with the stress you're carrying and the thoughts that you don't acknowledge.
Yes.
So yes, sorry, I had to.
And the trauma. So
Yeah.
it could be big T, little t, that we hold in our body.
Mm. Mm.
So would you like to give it a go? Okay, so and of course, this is always about an invitation, and so if you don't want to do any of it, well, don't do it. If there's parts that you don't want to do, just don't do it. It's just as simple as that. So the invitation is for all of you to just turn your attention inwards, and see if you can sit there with less effort. And indeed, you don't even have to shut your eyes at the moment if you don't want to. You can just be curious to see if you can sit there with less effort. Now, I don't know what that means for you, but just be curious to see if there's any efforting that you're putting, because especially when we're online, we can come forward thinking that we need to see the screen closer, and yet our eyes are working, so we can see, and we have our ears are working, so we can just allow ourselves to put just less effort into actually being on this call at this moment in time, and with always just have that curiosity to see if, even as the invitation is for you to maybe sit back, see if you can allow yourself just to experience that the bottom of your torso is resting on the chair that you're sat on. Not because you're forcing anything, not because you're straining, but just have that curiosity to see if you can allow yourself just to rest and settle within your own body, so that you can feel supported by the chair that you're sat on. And for some of us, we can be so much up in our thinking mind, where we're trying to think about and analyse what I'm inviting you to do. And we can get caught in that. There can be a tightness around that. And just see if you can soften that tightness with that curiosity to see if there is anything that you can let go of to enable you to really rest your physical body on that chair, just to the extent that you want to at this moment in time. And indeed, some of us squish ourselves in. Somebody said that they felt as if they were wearing a G-string and they felt they were sitting on their G-string. So you don't have to do that. You can use the whole of the bowl of your pelvis. You've got the pubic bone at the front. You've got your whole pelvic floor there, all the way back to your I can't remember the bone at the back, but anyway, that bone at the back, but at back of your pelvis, and you've got your whole width. You can completely rest in the whole of the bowl of your pelvis because that chair is supporting you. You don't even have to look down because there's an internal check-in. This is a private inward journey, allowing yourself just to rest, just to soften. And as you allow yourself to rest in that bowl of your pelvis, maybe you can even feel the back of your chair on your back, so that you can allow yourself just to gently soften, so that you can feel the support on your back. And of course, at any point, if you want to close your eyes, just gently close your eyes and open them again if you want to. It's entirely up to you. There's no expectations. It's whatever feels right for you as we are exploring and playing with the style that I teach. So we can rest, and gently coming down all the way down to our feet and seeing if you can experience your feet on the floor. So imagine like a loved one drawing perimeters around your feet, and you can come down and settle within those perimeters, those lines around your feet. And sometimes we grip with our toes. Even though our feet are resting on the floor, sometimes we grip with our toes. Can you just maybe soften that efforting of their gripping so that you can drop down and inhabit your feet, so you feel that you are living and present within your own feet, from your toes all the way back to your heels. It's a foundation of our being, isn't it? That foundation of being within our feet. So even the tops of our feet there, where our shoelaces are, we even grip and pull ourselves up with that. So we can just gently soften even the top part of our feet, the whole internal space of our feet, so they can just rest on the floor. And we can rest in that foundation. We can even rest our thinking mind in the foundation of the ground of our feet as they rest. So we don't have to pull ourselves up, we don't have to pull ourselves in. We can just gently soften back and down, coming into our own body. And we can rest our emotional life. We can rest our physical body, feeling that we are living and present within our feet, feeling the existence that we own feet, that we have feet. And that can be quite far down. They can be quite, because they're quite away from our thinking mind where we normally live. So just allowing ourselves just to sink down into our own body, so that we can rest and experience our breath moving through us, softly sinking down into the bowl of our pelvis. So we're resting in the bowl of our being, the center of our being. So that's another foundation that we can rest. We can rest our voice and rest our thinking mind. It's just another foundation. Aligning with your diaphragm, and your diaphragm moves with your breath, gently moves with your breath. And you can still rest in your diaphragm and still ride the movement and rest in that movement, in that foundation of your diaphragm as you settle back and down within your own body. Come feel your collarbones from the inside. So we wear our collarbones like necklaces. It's another foundation that we can rest in. And some of us were held securely as babies and some of us weren't. But what we're doing is we're cultivating a felt sense of being held, of safety as adults. We can rest our voice, rest our heart, rest our thinking mind. We can even rest the internal space of our shoulders down towards the ground. Resting any tension we have in our lips, in our jaws. Resting our eyes in their sockets, the bottoms of your sockets, back and down. Even resting the top of your head, because some of us can pull ourselves up on some level. We can rest back and down in our own body, resting the top of our head, resting our thinking mind, cultivating that felt sense of safety, of being held by the ground, resting in those foundations. And when you're ready, you can slowly open up your eyes and just see if you can still allow yourself just to rest in your body. So there is no need to come forward. There is no need to pull yourself up. We can just simply allow ourselves just to be in our body. So we're letting go of doing, letting go of that efforting that maybe we don't have to do. It's always about an opportunity, curiosity.
So lovely. Thank you, Louise. Really lovely.
You're welcome.
I'm over here in a very relaxed state now. It's great. It does heighten your relationship with your body, doesn't it?
Yeah. And see if, Tamazin, even as you talk, even if you could even put less effort, because clearly, obviously the three of you are hosting, but obviously Sharon gave you the responsibility at the start. And we can still feel as if we have to perform. We have to put that effort in. And yet we're just sitting here, effectively just chatting. It doesn't have to be a performance, does it?
Apart from the fact that we're on the clock, we run out of time and we want to talk about things.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, but no, it doesn't have to be that at all.
No. And this is where we hold the patterns in our body. And the invitation is for you to soften, to let go, so that you can feel the support of the floor, the support of the chair, because it's available to you right now. And it's available, that support is available all the time. The floor's here all the time. And we don't realise how much effort we're putting in. And if the effort we're putting in is flipping hard work, if you try it now, if you sit here with your hands gripped, with your arms up, so grip as tight as you can, just for a few moments. Can you feel the effort you're putting in? And yet, if I invite you to let go, can you see how easier? And that's what happens in our body, because we're gripping so much. internally, and we don't realise because we're too busy in our thoughts. We're too busy thinking about whatever we think about our clients, our home life, our work life, whatever it is. And yet we can learn to disentangle and allow everything to flow.
It's a bit like driving, isn't it? When you cling to the steering wheel.
Yep.
In the idea that that's going to somehow control the car better. And of course it doesn't.
No.
Does it?
No. No.
But I think that's a very natural feeling that you want to, if you put in effort, then you're what, doing something, or I mean, what, why?
Yeah, it's a natural thing because that's how society is. That's certainly how I've been brought up. It's all about putting effort in, striving and trying and etc. etc. And that has been a complete game changer for me, is that it's not about no effort, it's just about less effort.
And also it's about a different effort, because it's still, you're probably getting more done by being relaxed and calm. So you're still sort of being productive in your choice of goals and what you're doing. You're just doing it differently.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You've got more clarity because there's more space. Like Kay was talking about your book, you've got more space, haven't you, to be able to write your book in whatever ways feels right for you, which is maybe the snippets or going away for a period of time or whatever it is.
Louise runs meditation classes, don't you?
I do.
Once, twice a week?
No, I run weekly in the Quaker Hall on a Monday evening at 7 o'clock, and I run twice a month in the Village Hub on a Sunday at 10 a.m.
The Village Hub in where? Where's that?
It's opposite Chalkwell Park. So it's twice a month there and weekly in the Quaker Hall down Dundonald Drive in Leigh. Yeah.
Lovely. Wonderful. How do you feel about that meditation, Kay? How did you feel?
I felt really good about it. It was so good that we're just doing it from sitting in the chair. There was no other requests or pressures on you. It was just like sit in the chair, feel the chair. And then actually almost went off to sleep. It was very relaxing. Yeah, really relaxing. I kind of went somewhere else anyway. Yeah, I do like it. I like meditations. Yeah, I think they're really helpful. But that is quite it seemed quite simple. It's probably not a simple meditation.
Yeah, the technique is really simple. And actually, Kay, you can do it anytime. You can do it when you're watching TV, if that's what you do. You can do it in a supermarket queue because it's about bringing it into everyday life. It's not about just when you're sat on a cushion. So even with your clients, you can even do it with your clients. You can make sure, are you putting less effort in? Can you put less effort into sitting,
Yeah,
even when you're with because you can still hear them, you can see them. So you're giving them more space because you're resting in your body instead of up and out and maybe forward. So it's not about finding a chunk of time, it's finding little snippets of time that you can just gently drop in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I really liked it, enjoyed it, and it seemed quite simple. I'm sure you're like an expert at doing the meditation, so yeah.
Yeah, I must say I've had a lot of it, a lot of
Yeah.
experience, practice.
Yeah.
So Sharon, you had
Yeah, two things. One, following on from that, really, because people talk about mindfulness, and again, it's not about. It's backing up what you're saying, really. Sometimes it's not about effort. Oh, I'm going to meditate, so everything must be quiet and dark, or good music. Sometimes it's just noticing what, like with mindfulness, noticing what's around you. In this case, noticing your body, the chair under your feet, the floor under your feet, sorry, the chair under you. But the other thing I was going to say is question, you do one-to-one, don't you? Is that massage and meditation, or just massage? What does it involve?
Okay, I want to come back to before I answer your question.
Okay.
This somatic style that I work, it's not about it's about feeling, it's about experiencing, which is very different from coming from a mind
Notice.
to your body. It's about feeling, and that's very different. So mindfulness is about using
Yeah.
your mind to be aware of your hand, for example. This is about coming within so that you can be living and present within your hands, or living and present within your body. It's very subtly different. It's a bit like
Yeah.
the difference between learning to ride a push bike. Intellectually, you try to initially keep yourself up, etc., and then you just ride the thing. So it's about dropping down and feeling and experiencing. So there's a very subtle difference between
Yeah.
mindfulness and being aware in that way, and dropping down and experiencing your body.
Hmm.
But yes, so what I do, there's two ways that I work somatically. I used to do some sports massage, but I don't do that quite so much now. I work somatically from a body point of view, where I'm putting oil on people's body, and it's not, I have a certain flow, a certain pressure. It's nothing like sports massage now. So that is enabling people to feel safe and to feel supported as I'm working, putting oil, you're underneath a duvet as I'm putting the oil on, and that's working from a somatic point of view, allowing people to feel safe, to let go of the tension, the stress, the anxiety. So I also work on a one-to-one, guiding people directly. So specifically with this, so as I'm working, there's a therapeutic element of what it is that I'm doing. It's not just guiding a meditation. There is a therapeutic element to it as well. So I work either doing that or oil, or I can do a combination of the two. So maybe half the session might be me guiding somebody, and then the other half of the session, somebody's on the couch receiving a treatment. I had somebody recently who had said one session with me was the equivalent of 6 months of he had experienced with a counsellor. So he dropped his counsellor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Louise, can I just ask, when you're not doing the oil, when you're just do you focus on trauma and do you talk about the trauma? Is that what you're saying?
I don't positively encourage it to come up. I wait for it to come up as I'm working with clients. Yeah, it's a really natural way of doing, rather than specifically saying tell. So obviously I want to know somebody's history, but
Yeah.
I don't necessarily jump in, okay, tell me more. It's I
So
don't
you
necessarily
go
do that.
into the body and the feelings, and then the feelings come up, and
As
that, yeah,
as I'm guiding people, I'm not it comes up naturally. Fear
yeah,
can come up, or anger, or an emotion can come up, or or a memory can come up, but I don't specifically start with that aspect of the trauma. I just invite people to come into their body, because they hold it in their body. So it's
yeah.
more of a gentle way of working, rather than a okay, let's dive straight in.
Yeah, no, I think it's brilliant actually way of working with trauma because it is all held in the body, isn't it?
It is. It
And
is.
so as you're not massaging, you're not doing the oil, you're kind of just relaxing into the body and feeling the tension and where's the tension
Yeah.
and talking about the tension, are you? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, there is another aspect to it, because I actually start from believing that people are not broken. So and that aspect of ourselves, I help people attune to that level of ourselves that is not broken. So not only am I coming in from allowing people to soften and let go of the physical, the tightness, the numbness within their body, but at the same time, I'm guiding people to attune to that deeper level of themselves that isn't broken, that's underneath all the trauma, all the humanness. So at the same time, we get to be human, and we also get to be that stillness, experience ourselves as stillness and the peace. So it's almost like a two-prong attack, but in a really gentle, subtle way.
Well, that sounds brilliant, actually. Sounds really good.
Really lovely. Sounds like an integration.
Yes, it is. It is an absolute integration, of the whole
Really
body,
lovely.
the whole mind, the body,
Yeah.
being on that spiritual level. So that part that hasn't been broken, that is the spiritual aspect, but it's not spoken about as in the way that traditionally I've heard people talk about spiritual stuff.
I like that. I like not being broken as well. I kind of, I find that with a lot of my couples, one thinks the other one is broken. And just lately I've always pointed out they're not broke, that he's not the broken one or she's not the broken one. Like, no one's broken here. Like, you're just different. You need to, you're reacting in different ways. Yeah.
How long have you been doing this work, Louise?
I actually started doing somatic stuff since the start of lockdown. So that's what triggered me into it, and I can't do anything if I haven't experienced it. It doesn't resonate. I can't just read a book. It's got to be a lived experience in me. And at the start of lockdown, I got an autoimmune disease, which was really quite debilitating. They thought it was cancer, and it wasn't. It was polymyalgia rheumatica, PMR for short. And I was really quite ill, and I had to make huge changes in my life. And from there, at that start, I came across what it is that I teach. And me being me, like the old advert, was it the razor advert, that I had to become a teacher in it. So it was my gut, and this is what I've been actually searching for a long, long time. That whole integration of the mind and the body, and the spiritual aspect of it, without it being overtly spiritual. So it's basically, so now I'm a senior teacher in it. So ultimately, I've been doing these practices since 2020, March 2020.
That is amazing, isn't it? Because it's such a huge leap of faith that you sort of had to do. It was like a catalyst. There was no real feeling for you that there was a choice. This is what you were called to do, and this is what you're doing.
Yeah. It's funny, really, because, when I think, I worked in IT for 23 years, and, it wasn't until 1999 when I was told I had depression that's how come, that's where it all started. But having said that, reflecting on, just the preparation for this podcast on, why am I a Buddhist? Why did I write the book, and all that sort of why stuff? And reflecting on, actually, when I was in my 20s, I was curious about God and religion, didn't really do anything about it. And then ultimately, I then started, I was interested in meditation. So it was never like a goal from year dot. It was, but it was like almost like something that was waiting to happen until the opportunity, the timing, and everything was perfect. And then it's all unfolded, and life happens. Like when my mum died in 2012, that was huge for me, and I was told I could do trance work. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll get out of the way, and the spirit can come. But from a Buddhist point of view, you don't know who you're channeling, and that didn't really resonated with me. And I sat in a circle and spoke to dead people, but I knew it wasn't the right thing for me. I didn't want to do that. I wanted something that was more about my own personal development and my own personal growth as a human. rather than talking to something out there, I wanted me to feel it, me to experience it, and then through that, that's why I'd like to help other people, because obviously it's been a few years, not counting the years, but it's been a few years coming. So if I can help people, that I'd much rather do that. Yeah.
Very lovely. Thank you for that. Just quickly, thinking about the level of discipline that's required. If it's not a calling, if it's not sort of natural, and for you it's natural, so it's gradually, so you gradually came into it. But for a lot of people, and if they do lifestyle changes and shifts, it requires an element of discipline, doesn't it?
It most certainly does. And that's what I'm finding interesting with people that I'm working with. Some people aren't quite so disciplined, but I guess, or as focused as I would ideally like them to be. But I guess there's a balance, isn't there, of them finding where they're at and what it is that they want and what they want to achieve. And there are certain people, and that's fine. We're all at different stages. We all want and need certain things. But I guess when we have that desire, there's got to be something more to life, which is where I think I was coming from, that I knew I wasn't happy. And I didn't necessarily want somebody else to do stuff to me. I wanted to be able to take that control of what it is, of what process I went through. So that's what I noticed with there are a lot of opportunities for people to do stuff to people to help them, and they feel fantastic in the session. However, I want something that's longer lasting than just having that treatment and somebody do something to me. I want to be able to, I have that curiosity. What else is there? Because there is a strong element of needing, part of it is deeply understanding ourselves, or just understanding why we have the anger, why we have the emotion, at the same time as allowing it to flow. And yet you can lay there and somebody does something to you, and that's wonderful. But will it hold? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But for me, it didn't.
Yeah, I can see that. You can leave a massage place sometimes and think, oh, I'd like to have one tomorrow now,
Yes.
because it's come back. But also I was thinking, it's really hard. The discipline thing goes against almost a relaxation. But your desire was so strong that the discipline was natural.
Yeah.
So it's really hard, I guess, to, like you say, you have to see that not everyone is going to do that.
No.
It's, yeah, that desire.
But it's interesting, Sharon, because there is a balance, isn't there, between discipline and sternness. And,
Right.
and my sternness, I had that real strong, I must be good, I must do this, the rules are. But then when I shifted that to curiosity, there's a gentleness to curiosity. And it doesn't have to be rigid. It doesn't have to be, which is why you can do these practices with your eyes opened, your eyes closed, you're standing, you're seated, there's movement. You don't have to do it just in a set, disciplined way, just on my cushion. You can dip in. You're in the queue, you're in the supermarket queue. Can I feel my feet on the floor? At the same time as stuff's happening, life's happening.
Yeah.
Such a skill, isn't it? Such a useful skill for people to have generally. It's great. Okay, well, thank you ever so much, Louise, for all of your speaking that you've done today. And thank you ever so much for being here. And we have to say goodbye to everyone now, because the time is up and people have to go, and places to go, people to see, and we're all going to do it with a relaxed heart today.
Yes. Relaxed body, not just heart.
Yes.
Not just heart, relaxed
absolutely.
body. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Louise. That was brilliant. Yeah.